All right, Mal.
So I have been playing a new game, and it is not horror based.
The New Game Plus.
It is Pathfinder Kingmaker. It came out on September 25th. And it is by Owlcat Games, who this is the only thing they've done.
Came out to much aplomb.
Yeah. It had a Kickstarter, and it raised enough to be made. It's based on the in the Pathfinder universe and whatnot. It's a it's like a classic computer RPG, like Baldur's Gate style thing, isometric RPG, which I really love. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get it. It's only $40.
I think you and Med have talked extensively about these throughout the course of the podcast. You're both CRPG fans.
Yeah, so it has been disappointing, unfortunately. Yeah.
Does it use Pathfinder rules?
Yes, it's actually a pretty good translation into computer form, like real time and whatnot. Like the standard action, they break it down into seconds or whatever because it's in real time. Though you can free pause or whenever. But yeah, like it's got, I think it's got like all the core races and the Azamar. Yeah, I think I'm trying to remember if there are any other non-core races, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. All the core classes, and then quite a few of their extra base classes, like the Alchemist, the Inquisitor, or the Magus, are in it.
Does it have a samurai at all?
No.
Okay.
So no Cavalier.
Did you play
samurai,
a Magus?
No Cavalier, samurai.
No Witch. Actually, I went a different route. And I made I had a first level fighter, and then the rest were wizard, and then I'm gonna go into the what's it called? Eldritch Knight? Yeah, I think it's Eldritch Knight, because there are 5 prestige classes in it as well for some reason.
Really? I'm surprised by that.
Yeah. Or maybe not, maybe a little more than 5. It's got, I don't know, but there's a tiny amount of prestige classes, and each class has 3 archetypes.
Okay, well that's good to hear then.
Yeah. I think they reduced the skills by maybe about half ish. Like I know stealth and I can't even remember now with Pathfinder. What is it to pick locks?
Sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand.
I think it's sleight of hand is for picklocking.
Basically, those 2 and maybe another
or disabled device
into
yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, disabled device. That's what.
Yeah,
and probably sleight of hand. Then those 3 skills I think get reduced into trickery.
Yeah,
that's good.
And then so there's less skills to deal with, and so you don't get you don't get 1 skill point per extra intelligence just because of the skill disparity. I think it's probably 1 or for every 2 or something. But that's like the biggest difference in how the rules translate. Almost everything else is the same, as far as I can tell.
Then what is so bad about this game, Mel?
So, I mean, it's built in Unity, which, I mean, maybe is part of it. There's just so many bugs, for one. Like, which I'm in chapter 2 of, I don't know, but I'm like maybe 15, 20 hours in.
Mm-hmm.
My understanding is a lot of people say the bugs just keep get worse the further in you go.
Really?
Yeah. The only one I've noticed for myself, as far as I can tell, is I have the feat Arcane Strike, which lets you spend your swift action to do or get some extra accuracy and damage. You have to be able to cast spells to do it. So I was like, I'll get this because it helps compensate for the lower base attack bonus of the wizard. And as far as I can tell, it just never works. It doesn't do anything.
I will say, like, I've seen a couple articles that have pointed out that the game has a lot of bugs that need to be fixed, and
Yeah.
that they've been dropping some very large patches.
Yeah,
to-
they've been like for the all last week, like every day or every other day would just have a new patch, but there's still just so many bugs.
I really wanted to get this game too, but
Yeah.
after seeing like
I
how many
think
bugs and whatnot,
I mean, I think if they can get those worked out, it'll be a lot better. The other huge problem, as far as I'm concerned, is the load times are ridiculous.
like what are we
Like, I
talking here?
I had to uninstall off of my normal hard drive and put it on my solid state, which I don't typically do because it's so small. It's only like
Yeah.
100 and something gigs,
Yeah,
and it was still taking forever to load things.
Chivas.
Like, I would just sit there and play my mobile games like while it was loading to new areas and stuff. And the first time
Bad.
you boot up is like takes even or like maybe 5 minutes or something. The first time you load the game,
That's a
or
little bit
something stupid.
disgusting.
So I don't know. Hopefully they'll be able to also reduce that. Like, I know Bloodborne had some like 30-second
Yeah.
load screens, and they were able to cut that down by a bit or quite a bit. So I don't know. Maybe they can work some programming magic eventually after they get the bug situated with. And then like there's some other minor annoyances like when you go into like your safe space, your base of operations, it's just your character. All your party members go, do whatever. Like they go to different parts of the town where you can see them and talk to them and whatnot. So when you go to leave again and build your party, like it won't save the order. And if you played something like Baldur's Gate, where you have formations, like you don't want the squishy people. Like
Yeah.
your character is always at the front, because everyone else loads in behind them, and my character is very squishy, or at least compared to like my barbarian, my fighter with 29 AC at level 4, and
Wait, how has
and
he
whatnot.
got 29 at level 4?
She's a tower shield specialist.
Okay. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, she's got ridiculous AC, and so the base formations, I had to use a custom formation to get around that. It's like a minor annoyance. There's a workaround, but it's still like something I feel like shouldn't have happened or whatever.
All right.
There's some of those. As the story I have liked, like it starts with you in the court of an Eldori sword lord,
Crimson King.
which you have like it's Pathfinder lore and stuff. So I'm not going to get too much into that, but basically you're part of a team who's going to go clear out this hostile land, and then they will make one of them based on the performance and everything that's going on. Someone's going to end up the baron of that land. Spoilers, it's you.
Do tell.
I mean,
Someone's gonna happen.
What?
Right. There's like someone will be deemed worthy of the title, and of course it's going to be you because you're the player character.
Of course.
But the whole first chapter is completing that task basically, and it and like as soon as you get back to your room, basically shit goes down and like assassins start attacking and whatnot. So and that it does well of teaching you how to play the game basically, and they have like I actually like the system they use for like alignment and stuff. Like a lot of your responses will have an alignment next to it, and if all you did was choose one, you weren't already that, you would like slowly make your way to your alignment changing. But you need to do it a lot, so it's not like you're just going to accidentally become that alignment. But I just like
Oops, I murdered someone.
Right.
So-
and you could play a paladin who in Pathfinder has to be lawful good, and you could choose even an evil action like once, and you're not going to like all of a sudden be evil.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if you had a change like that had greater, like it took less than just to like go in a like just towards neutral or whatever.
Actually, quick question for you on this one, because this is kind of interesting to bring it up. But I know you can do evil choices in this game. Is it possible to go full evil route?
As far as I know, I don't, because if feel bad for all of the imaginary pixels and
And polygons.
computer processes. So I can't actually bring myself to be evil. But I know one of the characters. So most of my party is people from that first area that were going to be part of the team. Or the Tower Shield chick was actually like the captain of the guard of that castle who ends up going with to along after the events go down or whatever.
Yeah.
One of them is an undead elf who is just evil, and that
Damn.
is one. There are just like Baldur's Gate, there are just evil party members you can get, so you can be completely evil.
Wow. Okay, that's cool.
And
Does
I
that
think
mean that is it possible then for your paladin class to turn into like a dark knight or
no, you'd
rogue?
probably just fall. I don't think it has anti-paladin.
That's
I
so
am not playing a paladin, so
dang it. I'll have to look that up. I didn't know if you knew or not.
no, I'm pretty sure you would probably just fall since they don't have the anti-paladin. It would be nice if they had the anti-paladin in it.
That would be cool. A shame.
Yeah. I mean I like the characters, the party members. There is one iconic character from Pathfinder, the barbarian. But again, if you don't know Pathfinder, that won't mean really anything.
Yeah.
Out of the box. So the story I've liked, and after you complete chapter 1 and you become the Baron or Baroness, I guess, if you're female, you it unlocks like a kingdom management aspect to the game, which I also have enjoyed. Like you can you eventually can grow your barony and claim new territories, and then put a what is it called? A settlement, I guess. It's not something you would like. You can't just. It doesn't show up on the map, and you can travel to it. But in that, as a new area, but you can, in your kingdom management, you click on it and then start building different things like brewery, windmills, piers, orphanages, and they all have different stats that affect the kingdom and whatnot.
I love
and
the
you
character
also,
art.
Yeah, the
Sorry to
art's
interrupt you, but
real good. Not enough of it though. Like the art, the character arts was so good. I was just so disappointed that I didn't. There's only like maybe 2 options for like each race and character or like gender. I mean, so more of that would have been awesome. Yeah. Oh, you can also assign advisors to your kingdom. I think the game says there's 3 for each role, and there are eventually maybe 8 or 10 roles. I can't remember. You only start out with like 4 or 5. Can't remember off the top of my head. Like as your kingdom grows, you suddenly need like someone. I think they call it a minister, but not a minister. Something like I don't know. Anyway, it's someone who's in charge of spying, and then stuff like that.
A spy master, if you will.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
it is a spy master, but of course they give it a different
title,
name.
Yeah.
They're just not like, here's my guy in charge of spies. But yeah, so that stuff is cool. I like it gives you a lot of opportunity to talk your way through things if you don't just want to be murder hobo. Like I came across
cool.
some warring it was a group of kobolds and a group of mites or whatever they're called, warring against each other, and you can just show up and be like, I'm going to be neutral in this or whatever, and they're like, okay, and they keep fighting with each other, but they won't fight you, which is nice because there are a lot of them on the map or whatever. But you could also then choose with one side or say, screw it. There's almost a lot of the times there will be a chaotic evil option of I'm going to kill you now.
Yeah.
As a dialogue choice in a lot of dialogue. So that's always an option. Just kill a lot of people you come across.
Absolutely, that's a great option. Now I do know one thing about the game is that it doesn't actually play like a Pathfinder game. It's not quasi turn based. It's more of like a RTS style.
So it's like the Borderlands, Baldur's Gate or whatever style where it does load them up into a turn order, like you do roll initiative and stuff. It's just that there's real time pausing, so you could pause and but you queue up what you want everyone to do, and there is an AI too if you want, which you can tell it to like don't use your spells or use heal if, for in certain conditions. But yeah, usually I'll pause and then load up a bunch, and then depending on if it's a boss battle, I'll try and manage everyone's turn as best I can. Because after you choose, like if you tell your alchemist to throw a bomb, you'll see a countdown when you have them selected of because it's standard action to throw a bomb, so that's 3 seconds, and then once they get to 0, they do it, and then you could pause and then give them something else to do.
Got it.
Nice.
Like it does port over all the rules. It just will keep playing in real time unless you want to pause.
I would definitely turn on pause. I love that about Divinity. Is the fact that it does have like these turn order things that go through. So
yeah, it would be nice if you could have a mode that would do that. I guess like pause after every action taken on your side of the field would be kind of cool.
That'd be kind of nice.
Just auto select that person to give them the next one.
Yeah,
like, you could replicate it. Yeah, ultimately. Oh, and then another nitpick for me is, and like it's a personal for me type thing is like the whole first mission has maybe I think it's like 70 or 90 days to complete, which is just so you don't become level 10 in chapter 1 and kill all the people in the story or whatever easily. I just personally I hate being timed, so that's just like a minor issue, and it does show up with quite a bit, and it just makes me anxious when I'm managing my time, because like certain kingdom thing, like you'll assign your regents for amounts of time, and then like certain events will auto forward like 2 weeks or whatever, and
oh geez,
yeah, so it's looser with its time than I care for, and then there are timed missions, which I don't think I've ever been even close to failing any timed mission sort of thing, which there haven't been even a lot, but like the whole first chapter you have like 70 days, and I don't think I used even close to that. But it just makes me anxious and I don't like it, but that's just a me thing. I think after the bugs are taken care of, and I mean, as I like to play RPGs, I would like more options. Like there are a bunch of like the core feats and stuff, but I hope that it gets the Neverwinter Nights treatment and just gets tons of mods for like everything in Pathfinder.
From what I have seen, apparently the game is left pretty open for modding stuff.
That's good.
So obviously if it does give the Neverwinter Nights, or really any game that does this kind of thing, hopefully it gets a lot of mod love. The only biggest hope you get is Skyrim mod love, man.
Well, I say Neverwinter Night. Well, Neverwinter Nights 2 had nearly all, like it had people modded in Tome of Battle, like they modded in the Warlock, like
Tome of Battle modding in.
Oh yeah, like I play there. I brought in all 3 Tome of Battle classes in a mod once in Neverwinter Nights 2. And then like I don't know if they did the Tome of Magic. I mean, the only one worth anything would be Binder. But yeah, just tons of 3.5 stuff is in Neverwinter Nights 2. So that's what I was kind of hoping for this game, because I mean, having like 10 or more, I can't remember the exact number, 10 or 15 classes with 3 archetypes each sounds like a lot for some people, but for me that's not enough.
Yeah, I like my archetypes, but I generally have classes that I just like to play in general. So
yeah,
this sounds like a good game for me when it goes on sale and the bugs are fixed.
Yeah, that's the same thing I'm thinking. I want to play the game, but I'm definitely going to wait for bugs.
I think probably within a year it'll probably be in a really good spot, if nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, maybe they'll get it sooner than that, but like the main writer is Chris Avallone, who has done a lot of good work with like Obsidian and stuff, and has worked on like all of the like Icewind Dale, Planescape Torment, Baldur's Gate stuff. Like again, the writing I really liked. So
Who might
Worked
be
on-
bought out by Microsoft. Obsidian.
Oh yeah, Obsidian. Yep. We will see how that goes.
Yeah.
But Obsidian is always like nearly bankrupt. Like every game they sell like has to make them a lot of money to stay in
Yeah.
business. So it's probably not bad that they have someone big,
To float them.
Yeah. That's me.
All right, cool.